Hello, hello, my beautiful beloveds. Welcome to another episode of Deep Penetration with Saidi. This is a show where we get deep into some juicy topic around our sacred sexuality, supporting us on our journey and our evolution, and supporting us to really come stronger into our power, body, mind, and spirit, so that we can have those gorgeous, juicy, sensual, passionate, nourishing connections we truly long for with one another. First and foremost, with ourselves within, right? And then it shows up in the other. As within, so without. If we're imbalanced and struggling and frustrated and disconnected within, that's what's going to show up without. It's just one of the laws of the universe and how it works. So, like attracts like. Our energy draws in and magnetizes other things that vibrate and resonate at our same frequency. So, hence our journey here, hence us doing the inner work to clear out low vibe frequencies and align ourselves, get into harmony with that frequency that we're wanting to draw into our lives, right? It's a very unconscious process until we make it a conscious one. So the more conscious we get about those low vibe frequencies, if you keep connecting with, energies and frequencies and drawing things into your life that aren't really supporting and nourishing you and aren't fun, aren't passionate, aren't sensual, aren't awesome, there's something to look at there, right? And then you can start getting more conscious of that and making healthy decisions for yourself, right? This path is all about the sacred sexuality path for me is about getting very conscious of our energies and our frequencies and getting into alignment with what it is that we truly want to call in and align with, our true selves, our higher selves. So today, our topic is going to be around, I got an email recently from a client. I still work with sensual clients, with men, offering my sensual services on a different website. So I received an email about somebody looking for support around erectile dysfunction and how can tantric practices or sacred sexuality support them in their process and moving through that. And I just thought that was a great topic to bring in today and open it up for, more awareness, discussion, insight, bringing in how do I work with that? What do I feel about that? And how would I approach this? And for me, this... I don't usually use the word tantra because it's just so loaded and it's been really, what's the word I'm looking for? Hijacked. A lot of people think it's like having this bigger better orgasm, but really tantra is a philosophy. It's a spiritual tradition. It's a whole way of living. It's not just about sex or sexuality. So there's been a misconception. And I think everything happens for a reason, so I'm not poo-pooing that. And it was actually my in to my spiritual path, Tantra, when I got sober back in, was that 2010. It opened me up to wanting to connect more with my spiritual path. And I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what the terminology was. I had no idea. But I knew there was something around sexuality for me that felt very spiritual. So I just typed into my browser spirituality and sex, and up came tantra, all this stuff on tantra. And I was living in Portland at the time, so it was so and I looked up, what is that, where do I find that, right? And there was tantric meetup groups, so I was like, okay, let's go. And so I went, and that was a very interesting experience, and I got into some really strange situations with a lot of eye gazing and just, I don't know, different practices that didn't fully resonate with me and weren't exactly where I was trying to go, but it got me on my path, right? It led me into start meeting and connecting with people that would support me on my journey. I connected with, those kind of false gurus who were all about having sex with their with their clients or their students, I guess, that not clients but students, you know, had that experience and got really disillusioned actually with the whole thing, and realized, well, actually realized fairly quickly that it was really kind of more about this high and kind of chasing this sexual, not the most healthy sexuality. You know, people were showing up really needy and needing some sort of sexual connection, and I get it. Again, it's like an in, right? It's trying to bring more consciousness to sexuality, and but it was, I don't know, it was just a little messy. It was a little messy. So I figured that out pretty quick. I was like, But through this exploration, I met a lovely woman who connected me with another woman who ended up being my teacher for many years and was an authentic Tantra teacher. And it's interesting because there was one teaching about sex, and it was a weekend teaching that she offered every year, but mostly sex wasn't it. Sex is part of tantric path because the tantric path brings everything on board, everything. You know, some of the traditions want to transcend the body and transcend this earthly realm. Tantra isn't about that. It's really mastering this realm, right? And learning to live in it in our fullest expression. And it brings everything on the path. So that's why sexuality is included, where a lot of traditions, sexuality is just about procreation, or it's not supported. You know, there's a lot of, celibacy, which I'm not even going to go there right now. Not going to go there. And that also shows up with people on a tantric path, but that can be really, if it's not, the groundwork isn't laid for that, and there's not a good, healthy understanding of why people are getting into that, that can turn into a very unhealthy thing for people as well. And it's, but again, I'm not going to go down that road right now, but anytime we approach something from a dogmatic understanding or attachment, or even trying to be super spiritual, which a lot of people, they cling on to that badge of celibacy like it's their, you know, it's a spiritual ego thing, right? Oftentimes it can turn into that. I'm not saying for everybody, of course not. I'm never saying all across the board, but it can be an unhealthy thing that people get attached to without a really good understanding of why they're doing it, and without a healthy flow of your sexual energies to begin with, and that life force energy, and then you stop it up, and with some weird belief systems adding on top, it's only really going to compound the issue and cause more challenges. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, back to what I was talking about, this authentic teacher. I started learning so much and realized that, yes, I had gone off. That was a necessary piece of it for me. And now I have an understanding of what kind of Neo-Tantra is. And absolutely not to say that it's all bad. I'm not saying that, oh, please don't misunderstand. There's some really beautiful things that can come out of that. But for me, in my experience, it was kind of going down an interesting path that wasn't fully holistic, you know. And this teacher, and when I got onto my path, I started understanding and learning so much more about energy and body, mind, spirit, and a holistic approach, right? And energy, really understanding everything in our reality as energy. And once we start understanding that and working with ourselves, chakras, our energy centers, opening that up and doing practices, a variety of different practices to help clear the energies, clear stuck, stagnant, blocked energies. That's what really opens us up and helps us to start connecting and integrating and bringing it all into alignment. And then we start, once we're open and flowing more, then sexuality, I mean, that's a piece of it, right? But it's a very conscious, present experience, and it's bringing a lot of consciousness to it. So but that is for me what Tantra is all about. It's body, mind, spirit. It's understanding our reality as energy and working with it as such, and relating to everything as energy without judgment, That was a huge piece of these teachings, and understanding that there is no good and there's no bad, there's no right, there's no wrong. There's just energy and frequency, and how do we connect with that, work with that, align with it, flow with it, and just get very conscious and aware of that. It's the judgment. It's when we judge that really brings us so much suffering, so much suffering. And so that was the very first teaching I heard with her. She was talking about that. There is no good, there is no evil. And that just resonated so deeply, because the previous spiritual or religious traditions that I was had been exposed to was all about sin, shame, punishment, evil, trying to ascend the body, get out of here, get out of this realm, get to heaven. This wasn't good. The body is sinful and shameful. That never made sense to me, and I couldn't articulate why, but it just didn't make sense. And then how is one thing good? Like, for me, I know that some of the things, the way I chose to live my life, somebody would judge as good or bad. Who gets to decide? And I knew that was imbalanced as well, that was all such a personal experience. So that couldn't be the bigger, God thing. Like, that's a human judgment call, a human experience. So there was things I just intuitively knew but couldn't articulate for myself that had me very confused growing up around these traditions, around religion, that just didn't resonate. But I was also very scared that it was something wrong with me because I didn't get it and some other people seemed to. And I was just like, I was afraid I would go to hell, right? Because I'd taken it in so much. This is the society we've grown up in, right? So I finally heard these teachings where I was just like, thank you. That resonates so deeply. Like, everything in my body, in my core, in my soul just said yes. And I was hooked from that moment, from that very first teaching. It was perfection for me. And then I dove into this tantric tradition, and it was also Dzogchen Buddhism, which is also a direct realization path. But it was really about, you don't just believe. There's no faith. There's no belief. She would always say that. There's nothing to believe here. You find out. You do the practices. You see what happens. It was a very experiential. There was nothing based on faith. I mean, you trusted the process. You trusted. I knew something was here for me, and I trusted that, and I went on that. So I don't know if I'd call that faith, but I had trust in the process. I had trust. There was something like guiding and leading me and pulling me towards that. So I trusted that and went for it. I knew everything she was saying, that I was very wrapped up in unhealthy belief systems and unhealthy things that I'd taken on, and unworthiness and lack, and that none of it was really true at a core level. So I knew I was ready to be free from all of that. I was ready for the liberation that these teachings promised me. So I dove into all these practices and really committed and went for it, and it's been a complete game changer for me, and a beautiful path and a beautiful exploration. But so it's not for me about a bigger orgasm, but again, that's a nice way in. A lot of people can start, maybe they'll be exposed to a practice that starts opening things up for them, right? Like breath work, and then things can start moving, and then you start questioning and wondering about, how do I take this further? Or it brings in different people into your life, So I still use that word tantra on my other website. So people kind of have an understanding, because when I say sacred sexuality, that's just not as known, right? So, but I'm very cautious and careful with that word because for me, again, it's a philosophy, it's a tradition, it's a way of living. It's how I eat my food. It's how I get up in the morning. It's how I go to bed. It's how I approach energy and everything in my life, how I approach this, right? So you are welcome to explore on my website so many resources to support you in this process, and there are books on authentic tantra and Kashmir Shaivism and such, I think it's mostly Kashmir Shaivism that will support you in your process if you're really interested in diving into that more, and the philosophy behind all of it, and the philosophy of our reality and how it all works. Again, energy, it's energy, it's energy. And so a really powerful understanding, because once we understand more, our mind is important, but it's not everything, but body, mind, and spirit. But getting our mind in alignment with understanding how this reality works based on this tradition can really help you to navigate it more, right? And understand your own self more, and understand how to move through the world, and how to take control of your reality, right? That's so much of what this is. Once you understand that you can, that you are the source, you are the divine, you are the creator, right? Then you get to decide how you want to live it, how you want to shape it, right? You're already doing that unconsciously. We're all doing that unconsciously, but once we start to get conscious of it, wow, it's a huge game changer. So that's what this path has been about for me. And yeah, so how can this help us with things like erectile dysfunction? And for women, a lot of numbness or pain during intercourse. How can that help with those experiences? So I wanted to bring that in and talk about that a little bit, because again, this is for me body, mind, and spirit. So if we approach it in that way, we have to, of course, look at the body. What kind of foods are we eating? What are we feeding our body? I've had people clear up erectile dysfunction by changing their diet, right? It can be that simple. But then again, when you start clearing up your diet and your nutrition, taking out some of the things that are they're blocking, that are causing stagnation, right? You start clearing that out, and then it starts opening you up to other things, a deeper connection with your own divine energy, a deeper understanding of energy and how it works. You start clearing your head when you clear out some of the heavy, dense foods that could be causing erectile dysfunction, because it's not just an issue there, or it's not just an issue with numbness in our pelvic region. Those foods, that nutrition, can be affecting everything, right? It's affecting our mind, our brain. Things that are inflaming our brain are inflaming our thought processes and our emotions, right? So once we clear up some of those body things, other things start to open up as well. And then it can go the other way also. When you start working on your spiritual connection, then you start getting more conscious of what you're eating, because again, it all works together. So then you might start shifting that body, mind. Oh, when you start working on your mind and clearing out the unhealthy belief systems and the spinning and the overthinking, the overanalyzing, being too up in the mind, when you start working at that level as well, then your body starts reacting in a different way, right? So we come at this from all different approaches. It's a holistic, it's a trinity, right? So that's really, a lot of people try to deal with something like erectile dysfunction by taking a pill. There's other things going on, right? Whether it be mental spinning out, really being anxious about connecting with another, or guilt and shame. Growing up in this society, we've taken on a lot of unhealthy belief systems. Women really hold a lot of tension and stress in their pelvic region, and they can experience a lot of numbness or pain because, again, guilt and shame issues, maybe sexual trauma that they're dealing with, expecting themselves to perform differently, or being concerned about libido. We can hold a lot of emotion down there. And for men as well, if we're stressed and tense, we hold a lot of tension there, and that can cause issues as well. So a lot of this is mental stuff, though. Definitely mental, mind and body, really are big contributors to this. So when you start getting conscious and start making healthier decisions and start looking at, where did I pick up some of these belief systems? What foods am I eating that might be contributing to this? What about exercise? Am I getting enough exercise? How am I taking care of my body? That's a really big piece. So, but it's not the only piece. But to just take a pill, that is, your body's trying to tell you something when these things are going on. And I've gone through my own long journey with this, with experiencing pain or numbness. And so there's really been a lot of getting very clear and getting conscious and just getting present with my body and with myself. What are you trying to tell me, body? What am I holding? What's going on? Belief systems. There was a lot of belief and a lot of fear I was holding in my pelvic region. So I very consciously worked with this energy through connection with partners, very intentionally, like releasing and relaxing, because there was a lot of fear around. I don't know. It wasn't conscious, it wasn't, because consciously I was just like ready and into it, but my body was saying something else. So I really had to work with that at that level and go into it and question and get conscious and get, practice with the self-pleasuring and getting present with myself and just touching and stillness and like asking again, checking in with my body, what is going on? How can I support you? Right? And always it takes me to the breath work, which supports everything. Again, we are energy. So all of these, body, mind, and spirit, is all working at an energetic level, right? So the breath work really opens up our channels and really opens up that stuck, stagnant, blocked energy, working with our chakras, these energy centers, getting clear. A lot of the practices I learned and a lot of the energy healing I do, energy clearing, is around the chakras and really helping to clear energy that we've held, that we have gotten stuck, stagnant, and blocked in there. This can be from previous lifetimes, other timelines, but it's stuck in there, and until we work with it. And some of that we don't need to go into story around a lot of this. This was another huge piece for me on this path. It's not about story. Some of that can be helpful to understand where some things came from, but so many of us in this Western society, it's all about psychology. We can get lost in those stories and just keep diving in and just like, there's no end to it. And I tried that route, right? And it just didn't, it's a mental game. It's very mental. It's not getting into our body. It's not getting into the energy of it. It's getting into a story, which and I know, we create our own stories. We can grow up in a family or talk to our sister about some memory that we had when we were younger, and they don't even have that same memory. They experienced it very differently. It's all very personal. So story is just that. It's our story. So picking it apart and diving into it isn't often very helpful. Again, sometimes, for sure, I'm not poo-pooing all of that. Please, no, I'm not. But we can really get lost in that. So I have found for myself and working with clients that getting into the energy of the experience and clearing that out, bypassing the story. We don't need to get lost in that shit. Shit will come up for me. It'll show up for me in a session when I'm doing, I'll get visuals of things. And it's like, is this important to the process? Do I need to share this with my client, or is it just going down a rabbit hole and isn't really helpful? And sometimes I'll offer it up to, it's like, okay, I'm getting the image of this. I don't know if that's helpful for you at all. And sometimes it really is. You're like, oh, thank you. Yes, I'd forgotten about that. That makes so much sense. And then we let it go. But we don't dive in, pick it apart, analyze it, figure it out. Where did it come from? Blah, 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 right? So the energy, getting into our energy body, our energy channels, our chakras, with breath work, with energy healing, with sound, again, everything is frequency. So all of these things work at a frequency level. And the way I describe it, it's like our energy body, right? Our energy through inherited experiences, trauma, just belief systems we've taken on, our and our own experiences, food, whatever we fill our environment with. It can be stressful TV that we're watching, the news, all these things are just like, our energy can just get really like this, really contracted and tensed up. And that's where our blockage is, and that's where we can get into mental spinning if it's not flowing in our mind, and we're just in this like, it's just spinning. You come in there with some sound and some frequency, and it comes in, or breath work, breath again, breathing that through, energy healing, so much it just comes in and opens it up. It clears those blockages, and then things are allowed to flow. There's no more spinning because it has somewhere to go. When it's blocked, it can't move and it can't flow. Our emotions can't flow. Our mind can't flow. Our thoughts can't flow. Our just our energy, right? And so that's what all these practices do to support that process. So what is erectile dysfunction? What is numbness? Numbness. There's no energy going to it. The energy is all, right? It needs more flow. It needs more flow. So again, the more we breathe into that area and do breath work, the more consciousness, the more maybe affirmations, positive mantras, vibrating mantras, again, like they're just the frequency. Getting conscious, bringing awareness to the areas, loving them, self-love, 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 right? Instead of judging and condemning and criticizing ourselves for not being where we want to be, or for things not behaving or reacting in the way we want them to, performing in the way we want them to, right? There's the judgment, there's the shame, there's the criticism. We kick our own asses, right? And then things, of course, aren't gonna respond in the way we want because we're just kicking our asses. So again, the energy work, energy, sound, mantra, all these things, love, brings so much support and healing and nourishing into our body, mind, and spirit, right? I'm getting very activated and excited right now. Gonna bring my energy down a little bit. See, there's the energy, right? When we understand that we are energy, we can work with that and get conscious of it. I can see myself getting excited, and then my words don't come out as articulately, right? So I can just breathe that down, and that's, again, consciousness, presence, breath. It's simple once we start like really understanding it and practicing with it and rocking it out. So that's so much of what erectile dysfunction or numbness or pain is in our bodies as well. When we get present, when we get conscious, when we bring in the energy and the breath, and we just really allow, nourish, connect with, get present with, it really can change so much. And this is a practice. This is a practice. I was talking earlier about the ongoing journey. For me, it's been ongoing. It wasn't like I just set the intention. I'm clearing everything because I'm aware there's an issue. No, we got to get in there, right? And again, not with story, but with practices and consciousness and awareness and love and presence. I feel like my shirt's falling down a little more. Fixing that. So that's how tantric practices can help, right? Tantric practices, it's really consciousness and awareness, energy, breath, love. We have to love our bodies, love our journey, love our process, love what our bodies are trying to tell us, and bring attention to these situations with our body. They're trying to tell us something. There's wisdom here, right? There's wisdom saying, hey, there's some physical stuff going on we need to look at. Hey, there's unhealthy belief systems trapped in here we need to look at. There's energy flow we need to look at. It's telling us everything. Our bodies are telling us everything, right? If we stop, calm down, and listen to them. So it's a great place to start. It's a great place for us to start our journey and our process. So this is a big one. And our sexual energy, it is our life force. It is our vitality. It is our creativity, our passion, our purpose. If something's shut down there, it's likely that we are shut down to our passion, our purpose, to our divinity, to love, to the truth of who we are, to our own magnificence. There's something we've shut down that we are not connected with. So this is the tantric path. This is the spiritual path. This is why, for me, our sexual energy, our sexuality is For me, this is the spiritual path. This is telling us everything we need to know. And the more it's a symptom. It's a symptom of a bigger issue, and it shows up in our body because everything, we are living in a physical world, so everything shows up in our physical experience. As above, so below, as within, so without. It's showing that we have an imbalance. It's showing that we have things to work on. It's showing, it's leading us on our path, right? Our body is a huge teacher for us, shows us where we're out of alignment. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So don't judge or condemn or criticize or shame yourself for any of this. Just recognize, like, wow, this is amazing. My body is a powerful wisdom tool and is teaching me and guiding me. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And this is such a bigger societal issue. Don't take this personally, right? So much of this is just how we've grown up, you know? That's fine. Now what do we do about it, right? There's no judging, there's no shaming, there's no poo-pooing. Again, there's no good or bad. It's just what it is. It's the energy. Now, how do we work with it, right? That really frees us up so much when we approach it from that way. It doesn't, nothing's to blame. Things happen in our life. Things happen in society. This is the time that we came in to experience. We came in to experience all of this. So, how do we move forward? Now what? So, the tantric path is an excellent, excellent path to support you in your process and really support opening all of this up for you and reconnecting you to your divinity, to your heart, to your truth, to your beautiful, gorgeous body, your amazing, amazing body in this amazing realm, this earthly realm. We're here to have fun. One of the tantras says this is a mansion of fun. Another oh gosh, I don't know if it's in a tantra, but they talk about the senses are what do they say, like gods or goddesses here exploring the realm. They're all of our senses. Our bodies are magical. We came into this body to explore and have fun, right? And then the society we've grown up in is somehow poo-pooed and shamed and shunned our body and shunned abundance and money and material things, you know? No, that's what we're here to experience. It's a mansion of fun. So we really got to clear all this guilt, shame, blame, punishment crap. Step into our truth, remember our divinity, quit outsourcing our power, and come into love and love and love. And then our bodies are just going to open up and blossom and have fun and play. But that's the path. It's clearing out all that stuff, right? It's clearing out the energy, the unhealthy, stuck, stagnant, blocked energies, belief systems, etc. So I am on a roll right now. It's 32 minutes. I get so passionate about this because that's what all this is about. So for me, I've kind of like Tantra, I've just switched words to sacred sexuality because that for me is, I am on this path, and it's I mean, for me, sacred sexuality is the same. It embodies everything. You can't come in and have healthy sexual experiences and connections with a partner if you're dealing with a whole bunch of guilt and shame, right? You can't, again, our bodies, it all works together. It all works together. So you can go for that bigger, better orgasm, but if you're still having a hard time connecting from a heart-based place with your partner, it's going to be a little dead and empty, right? So it all works together. That's what this path is about for me. And why we're here, and hopefully why you're here. Welcome. If you've been watching this long, I'm so thrilled for it. I'm excited to be sharing. It's been an interesting few weeks, but in this show, we always go to the cards to see what they have to share with us. So I think this is going to be a little longer, but that's okay. I'm also learning a lot to just allow the flow and not poo-poo myself and judge myself, right? And judge that and worry like, is this too long? Fuck. Can we just leave ourselves alone and just quit already? I mean, really? So, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, beautiful Mother Earth and Father Sun. Thank you to all of our archangels, wisdom guides, and spirit guides and helpers, wisdom beings, ascended masters, whoever it is that we connect with, gorgeous frequencies. Beautiful bodies. Thank you for all of your help and support. Thank you for any words of wisdom that might come through today to support us in our process and on our journey. Let's see what they have to say about supporting us in connecting with this beautiful path, right? And working through this guilt, shame, blame, punishment that we carry in our bodies that gets in the way of our beautiful, passionate, gorgeous, and sensual connections, right? Thank you, beautiful cards. Well, that was 3. I'm not going to take all 3, so let's try that again. Thank you, beautiful cards. Yay. Okay, let us see what we have here. First card that came out was the this is a 9. Okay. I wasn't reading very well. Okay. The 9 of Wands. The Wands are such a passionate, fiery energy. This is the fire energy. And this is spiritual growth and transformation. And look at this guy. He's just like, I've been working really hard. I've been doing a lot here. He's been on an adventure, on a journey. He has really gone through it. So for me, what this says in regards to what we're talking about is, yeah, maybe you've been on this path. Maybe you've been doing this. Maybe you're frustrated with how all it has gone into this, right? And you're ready to be done, ready to be over it. I feel there's something ready to break through here, break free. And I know I'm just kind of trusting what's coming through. It moves into the Wheel of Fortune, which is helping me to feel that way too. Like there's a turning of the tides right now, and there's a real understanding, and maybe this is kind of like the end of just like old, it's not swords energy, but the end of old belief systems. This is, I don't know, I'm trying not to censor myself with what is coming through. So that's part of my own journey with all of this. It's we can so easily like second guess or analyze ourselves, but there's definitely something like just done, and ready to kind of kick it over to the curb. But with this Wheel of Fortune, yeah, it's a time for change. There's all these old systems, all these old ways of experiencing the body and experiencing our sexuality. It's time for something new. And this is also moves into the 8 of Wands, which is a real action energy. It's movement forward. It's time to go forward. It's time to break free from all of this. So maybe, as we're talking about this in regards to this sacred sexuality path, it's just time. It's time to move forward. It's time to embrace this. If you're here watching this, maybe you're ready to move forward with this in a bigger way, connect with these practices in a bigger way, and really help bring together your body, mind, and spirit, and be free from so much of this. You're just kind of over it, right? Over it. And I think of this as more as kind of like the end of some spiritual lessons, and it's not quite the 10, it's not the completion, but again, because it's the wands and it's spiritual growth and transformation, maybe you've moved through a big piece of this already and you're ready to take it to the next level. And maybe you are aware that it's time for, some big shifting, and you're feeling that Wheel of Fortune change. You're feeling, we just cleared out a whole bunch. We're astrologically moving into some brand new cycles and brand new energies. And it is time to be done with this age of Pisces transcend the body crap. It's a new way of being in the world, a new way of connecting to our bodies, a new way of connecting to our sensuality. So I definitely see some of this as like the old Pisces energy, that old spiritual way of being, that old religious way of being, right? Those old belief systems that aren't serving us and supporting us anymore. And everything has a reason. I absolutely believe that. So all of that was part of our journey and part of our adventure, but now it's time for a new way. It's a time for a new way. It's a shift. It's a shift, a huge shift, and for the better. But yeah, where are you ready to take action and start moving into this more for yourself and start aligning body, mind, spirit, trying these practices out, getting more clear and serious? And then that moves into the Queen of Cups, who's just a master of her emotional world. And she is, I don't know, that I feel this right now it's a very wise and loving energy. It's the cups, it's our intuition, it's our psychic gifts, and it's emotions. And it's in the water, it's that sacred feminine energy, right? So again, this isn't the earth element, but I do feel it's a trusting of our wisdom, the wisdom of our bodies, the wisdom of our intuition that is guiding us on this path and guiding us into different practices. How can we trust our intuition to teach us and show us what practices to move into and where on this path to move into? If you're here again, trust that. Trust what is opening up for you. Trust what your body is trying to tell you. Trust what your intuition is guiding you towards. As we've been talking about this stuck, stagnant, blocked energy and imbalances, where are you lighting up and where is something going, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm feeling that. And maybe you're drawn to try some of these practices, drawn to connect with this path more, drawn to some sort of wisdom that is coming through for you, right? Definitely around this sacred feminine. It's not the high priestess energy, but also in the emotions. It's been kind of a disconnection, I feel like, or an imbalance around our emotions and sexuality, right? There's been a disconnect or I feel like, to me, this is connecting our sexual energy with our emotions in a healthier way, whatever that might say to you. I don't know. A lot of people can be overly emotional when sexuality is involved and really attach and cling and get needy around that. They can really put a lot of pressure on somebody they care about to connect with them sexually, to show them that they are loved, to prove that there is love. That's a really unhealthy use of our sexual energy to attract and cling to another person. That's codependency. That's unhealthy sexual energy. That's a manipulation of our sexual energy. We can enjoy sexual pleasure and connection and not have it be so clingy and needy and, oh my gosh, I have to get married now. Oh my gosh, we're in a relationship right now. There's that's been a real path for me, because I've always been not that monogamous type necessarily and wanted to have a variety of connections. And how do I do that without it being a big emotional, clingy mess, and it's getting really clear, and it's setting strong boundaries, and it's having communications. And so there's a new way, but it doesn't mean I don't love and care about the people I'm connecting with as well. It's just not a needy, clingy love and attached, like, okay, I care about you. I think you're amazing. You're an awesome person. And even that's just a one-time thing, right? I can fall in love with a person and just feel this beautiful love for this gorgeous, amazing being that I'm connecting with, that I'm sharing my energy with, right? I can feel love. That's part of why I was so drawn to spirituality and sexuality, because I felt the divine. I felt the cosmic connection in just connecting, even for one time, with a partner. I thought there was something wrong with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they feeling this too? Is that weird? But then I could walk away and not be attached at all, and just enjoy that experience. So I thought like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. I can't connect. I have an issue with commitment. You know, there's all of these things where it's just like, no, it just doesn't have to be that. That's an old way. That's an old way. That means like if you have sex with somebody, you have to get married with them. What? No. So to me, this is like bringing in a much healthier experience of our emotions into our sexuality. That's what's coming through for me right now. I'll be curious to see what does that mean to you? What does that card say for you? And then there's the Page of Pentacles, which is the earth element, which is all about the body in Sacred Sexuality, how I read this card. So this is a brand new, fresh energy. It's a fresh start. And look, it's lush, it's green, it's golden, it's nourishing, it's luscious, it's delicious. And there's these fresh energies here. This is a beautiful, and then the next is the Ace of Pentacles. So for the two of these together, these are fresh starts, new beginnings, gorgeous new energy, which is, I think, what we're moving into right now on this Sacred Sexuality path, right? And if you're here and connecting with this, you're ready for some fresh starts, ready for new connections with your body, mind, and spirit, ready for a new way to connect with others. So that's it's a gorgeous energy, really beautiful energy. Yeah, a time for action. And, you know, how does all this feel to you when you're listening to this? And this, again, it's a very intuitive card. The emotions, or the water, is very intuitive. What is coming through for you as you're hearing all of this, right? We're really learning to move into our emotions more also in this Sacred Sexuality journey, because it's been in our society very masculine, very logical, very mind-based. So this is coming down into our emotions, our intuitions, our hearts, and our bodies more and more and more, which is what this path is all about. It's a balance. Again, the flow, body, mind, spirit, bringing it all together instead of just mind, right? It's been very mind in the dominant energy has been mind. Spirit, body is like secondary, or even not even at all. A lot of people are trying to transcend the body. Balance, harmony, union. How do we bring it all together? What a gorgeous energy. I love it. So we're doing good here. Oh, let me just look at this one more time to see. Yeah, it really feels like with this Wheel of Fortune, the tides are turning. You know, it's time for a new way. And there's definitely momentum forward and action here with this Eight of Wands. There's a lot of spiritual growth and transformation with all the wand energy, and just really bringing spirit into the body, allowing it. It is in the body, but we just don't allow it, right? There's this disconnection, like source is out here, heaven is out there. It's all here. The divine is here. It's not out there. We gotta quit outsourcing our power to that and to those belief systems, right? Unless they're really serving you. Doesn't seem like they're serving a lot of people, and we're finding our way back to our own hearts, our own truth, right? Our own power, instead of giving it away and outsourcing it, looking elsewhere. Yeah, it's bringing this all into the body. It's time to come back to our bodies. And again, as we're speaking about, you know, numbness and sexual dysfunction in our body, these are fresh energies of the body, fresh ways, and really connecting with the emotions of our body, our emotional experience, and gaining mastery. She is the queen of her emotions. She's got mastery. So that, yeah, that's an important piece here. So I think that, and now we're going to draw, we're going to pull one card out of this Shaman's Dream deck. It's such a beautiful deck. I haven't used this for a while. Let's see what happens here, what comes through to support us in our process. Any more words of wisdom? Nope, there it is. Wahoo! Okay. All right. Beautiful. Gathering around the power of community. What the are we doing here, right? Community. Creating community. Oh my gosh. All right, 26. I love this, and it's a good prompt for me right now. Okay. The power of community. Being safe and secure. Allowing help. There are times when you need positive reinforcement from others. Perhaps your journey has made you tired just before reaching the proverbial finish line, where your friends wait to cheer your arrival. That speaks to this card a lot, right? At the proverbial finish line, almost there, almost done. And it's been a long, weary journey. It's just like, we're tired, we're done, right? Like, oh my gosh. Ready for some fresh energies, ready for this, right? Ready for this. For sure, this guy is just like done. Know this. You are not alone, regardless of whether you think you are. People gather around to help with your next step as you bring it forth from the cosmos into the beauty of life. There has never been another you before, and you have a unique relationship with your friends, family, communities, and all those who gather to help you in the unseen realms. Now is the time to allow assistance from others, ask for it, and trust that you will receive it. You are safe and secure right now in this moment, truly supported in your beautiful, amazing, complicated life. You are heard by angels, witnessed by the divine, and loved. Yes, loved, now and always by life itself. Whatever your query, you will find the help you need to achieve what you desire. And you will not have to do this alone. Count on it. Yeah, beautiful. And that's what we're doing here. And that, not used to my shirt going down so much. I have a lot of exciting things coming up in the works, community events that are going on. So I feel like this is a perfect card. We are all in this together. And also, I'm here to support you with sessions and rituals and programs and pilgrimages, right? We are not alone on this. This is why I've created this whole channel, so that we can talk about this, move into this, do this stuff together, and go on this path together, on this journey together, this awakening together. It's beautiful with community. So stay tuned. I have, I'll be announcing here very shortly a couple, and you can go on the website and see the events are posted there. But I'll be talking about like some upcoming sensual dance going on, dance party, and oh my gosh, energy healing session for the sacral chakra, sensual energy renewal, very powerful, and also just a circle, right? A sacred sexuality circle to connect and talk and move through some of these things together and open that up. So very excited to be bringing in some new offerings to support us all on our journey, and especially excited now to be working with both men and women. I think it's just going to be much richer. Again, I was working just predominantly with men previously, so now shifting over, worked with women, then men, then now bringing it all together, right? So I think that's just going to be really rich and gorgeous and beautiful. So I still have my essential offerings for men. If you're interested in that, feel free to reach out via my website, and I can connect you with that. And also be sure to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for so much more to support you on your journey. There's breathwork practices that are really going to help open this up for you. There's sound meditation, sound healing, all the things that we just talked about, the practices to support you in your process, right? So check that out, and certainly reach out for a guidance session if you want some personalized, let's figure out where you're at right now. Where do you want to be? How do we get there, right? So be sure to check that out. There's so much to support you here. I think I always get off of here and was like, oh, I should have said that. So I'm just checking in with myself to see if I'm missing anything and if there's anything I want to add. I feel like I touched on everything. Again, for me, You know, the question was how do we work with sexual dysfunction in the body? And again, for me, it's this body, mind, spirit, really coming at it from understanding and getting consciousness around all aspects of ourselves and integrating and bringing awareness, the practices to that really again it opens everything up. These practices, it supports everything. Like breath work is going to open up body, mind, spirit, right? It works threefold. It's a powerful, powerful practice. So I have a number of guided breathwork practices to guide you through, right? They're like meditations, but with the breath work. So it's all guided. It's very easy and lovely. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions about that. You can contact me through my website. There's a contact page. So if you have questions, your comment below. I always respond to all comments. Happy to do so. And if you're watching this and you've gotten this far and you have not subscribed, please do. I'm so at this moment so close to 500. Just about to get kicked over the edge there. I just need some support to get me over that hump. Thank you so much. So I think that'll be it. Thank you so much to all of our beautiful spirit guides and helpers, angels, and Mother Earth, Father, Son. Thank you to all of the frequencies that are supporting us so beautifully. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our beautiful bodies for all the wisdom and helping us to connect with them more and listen to them more. Listen to them more. That's beautiful. Thank you all. I look forward to connecting with you. Bye.